Hello everyone, welcome to my first ever video for my blog. I'm Vanessa. My blog is Vanny et al, so please check it out after this video. But this is my first video in the STEM and Style series. So I have my very good friend Sheila here, and I met her not too long ago, and I feel like I've known her forever.
I know.
And I love her so much. And let's get right into it. So Sheila, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Ugandan. I'll start there because people might wonder about my accent.
Africa!
Africa represents. I'm a hardware engineer with an electrical engineering training. I love having discussions around anything that's science powered, ways that we can use technology to solve some of the fundamental challenges.
So where did you go to school?
I went to an undergrad college, a small liberal arts college in Minnesota called McAllister College. A lot of people don't know McAllister, but Kofi Annan went to Mac.
Oh, okay.
UN
Secretary.
Yes, UN Secretary.
Oh,
yes,
amazing.
Yes.
Okay.
We went to Mac, and so I was there for 4 years. I was a major in physics and math. And then for grad school, I went to MIT, 6 years in cold Boston.
Yeah. MIT, I don't know if you guys have heard of MIT.
School in New England. So that was, McAllister and MIT.
Did you always know you wanted to do science, like from elementary school, or did it come later?
No, I mean, I always knew it was an option. My dad was a civil engineer, and I was surrounded by people that did math-related jobs. Math and science are really interrelated. So I always knew that it was an option. It was just a matter of what I was interested in. In undergrad, but it wasn't until my junior year that I decided to continue on engineering.
Okay. And what do you do now?
I'm a hardware engineer at Apple. I work on product development.
Awesome. Apple. You guys know that? All right. So, coming from an academic background, was it easy for you, I guess, in that case an academic family, was it easy in that case to find the answers you had to questions about science as a kid?
As a kid, my mom really encouraged creativity and curiosity in the household, in my home. And when it came to asking questions about, why there are seasons, at some point, your parents, they love you and they want to provide answers. At some point, they say, why didn't you ask your science teacher?
I know, and there was no Google back then, right?
You didn't have Google, so you didn't have all these answers at your fingertips. But I had, my brothers were also science majors, so I'd always go to them. But also I had great teachers in Uganda, and they always had open door policies, so we'd always go and have conversations. What would usually start as a short question would become an hour-long.
That's great. Because in that case, you're not discouraged from your curiosity.
Yeah, I was never discouraged in that.
And do you feel like that helped in making you successful as you are today?
For sure, because if you're not inquisitive, if you don't peel back layers, then you can only be as good as the current situation.
Right.
And so, being curious and sort of harnessing that curiosity at an early age was good. But also, curiosity is not useful without focus.
Right. So you need help to mold your curiosity and
exactly.
Good ideas.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. My dad played soccer, my mom played basketball, so at some point they're just like, space? I wish I grew up in this time where I could have a computer and just like seek out those answers myself, but I would always force them to take me away, force them to buy me books. I'm happy that, now there are more tools at their fingertips and kids who are not surrounded by scientific people can actually quite easily teach themselves about science.
Yeah, they have access.
So that's really great, and I hope more kids use that access and take advantage of the time we live in, because it's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So our next question: how do you think your background and your upbringing has influenced your approach to STEM projects? Do you see something about you as a child that you still use today?
It's funny. So in Kampala, the city that I'm from in Uganda, the education system is very theoretical based, so it's less practical. I mean, that's a topic for another discussion. But even today, when I'm doing algebra or quick calculus, there's some acronyms that I remember.
Yeah, like little tips that they taught you.
That they taught me when I was 14. And also really quick, tips on decoupling problems. A lot of times, like in my career, I found myself in situations where there's just so many. It's like a waterfall of problems.
Right.
And you need to pick the lowest hanging fruit and tackle that first. Sometimes you can do things in parallel, but a lot of times when you have to focus your time and effort and prioritize, there's skills that I picked up on at a very young age. You just 24 hours in a day. Prioritize.
Yes.
Not so much pick the easiest problem to solve, but pick the problem for today.
And I can't stress how important it is to develop that skill at a young age, because I meet, even now in my career, I meet older people in their 30s who still don't understand that basic concept. And if you're going to move up, especially in industry or even academia, basic skills like that are very crucial to success. Yeah. Basic principles about how to organize, prioritize, and tackle complex problems.
Right? And just have clarity. Do whatever you need to do to start your day and prepare your mind to be clear on the things that you need to solve. Because within an hour of getting to work or to school, you realize that 10 more problems.
Right.
You want to aware of.
Especially in the tech industry where it's on the go, 24/7, there's a problem that needs to be solved.
But remain mindful, because things change quickly, so remain mindful of the goal. What's the mission? And what else is just noise?
And know when to let go of some problems. Don't hold on to it. I feel like that's it. Yes. Yeah. I feel like that's something about my upbringing. Like there's this phrase that like I learned as a kid, like I can't kill myself. I can't come and kill myself. And at some point, that's very important. You can't come and kill yourself about even the basic big problems. You have to let some things go and move forward. And at the end of the day, after some time, you realize it's not that big of a deal. So, yes, that's a good answer. I like that. So, what steps do you think you took in undergraduate, like while you were getting your bachelor's, to prepare you for success in graduate school?
So
I guess let me start with, did you know you always wanted to go to graduate school? When did that happen?
That happened in my third year when I decided that I was going to continue engineering.
And was there a particular person that influenced you, or how did you even know, PhD, that's my cards for it?
So in my junior year, I was thinking about what to do afterwards. Do I go back home to Uganda? What am I going to do in the next degree?
Yeah.
And at that point, I decided to apply to grad school. But in preparation for that, I took 2 summers where I did undergrad research with my advisor. And the good thing about that was it gave me the ability to take a research project, which was handed to me as an undergrad. You rarely get the opportunity to come up with a question and solve it in 3 months. But I had complete autonomy on setting up the experiments, the data capture, the processing. I mean, I had a lot of guidance.
Right. But it was your project.
It was my project. And, that really, that sense of accountability and knowing that I had to deliver something in 3 months really made me, we talked about focus earlier. It forced me to focus, what is the problem? And a lot of that other stuff is important, but in addition to that, you just be mindful of the fact that this is a question that I had to answer. And in grad school, that's what you have to do, right? It's like 6 years of a thesis project, right? It's very hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel, but you just have to remain mindful of these are the steps that I've taken to prepare myself to get the results. And it's milestones, incremental milestones, and celebrate those when they happen.
Right.
Because if you don't, then it can easily get overwhelming.
Are there steps you took? Are there steps you wish you took in undergrad that would have made it easier in your PhD, or do you think you were well prepared before you started?
The theory part of things, I was well prepared in a technical capacity. But I think I would have benefited from maybe taking more coding classes.
I see.
Like,
everyone take coding classes.
Really, honestly,
you can't stress that enough.
Oh
If
my
you
gosh!
Don't remember anything from this video. Take coding classes.
Learn to
start
code.
in high school.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to code, even if you're in biology.
Yes, absolutely.
Or if you're a vet. Learn to code.
Yeah, and I was intimidated by coding.
Yeah, me too. Because I didn't have a really great background in it, and in graduate school, I just had to learn on the go.
Yeah.
For what I needed.
Yeah, exactly.
For data analysis.
Yeah. But then you have, it's good to learn best practices, that you can translate from one project to another. So I really wish I had spent more time.
Do you code now?
Just enough to get the job done.
Yeah. Right.
But I need to understand algorithms because, for my job now, it's important for hardware and software to complement each other. Yeah.
So, can you give us, I know this is difficult for a PhD, you spent 5 years, working on a variety of scientific questions. Can you give us a synopsis of what you did? Explain it to young people who might not have taken many physics classes.
So, I spent my PhD working on, so as I mentioned, I'm an electrical engineer with a focus on optics and photonics, materials and devices. So anything that's light interacting, active or passive. But the core project for my PhD had to do with designing, manufacturing in a clean room these small optical elements that enables different operation in lasers.
Okay.
So, for those that are curious about lasers typically are very.
So were you making the lenses, or?
No, we weren't making the lenses. We were making absorbers. Basically, they're saturated absorbers that you would shine laser light on, and if you increase the intensity, these absorbers get to a point of saturation.
Right.
And when they saturate, they're no longer absorbing the incoming light. And then whatever else exceeds that intensity, these absorbers become mirrors of.
I see. Okay.
And so we were able to design these elements.
So they're reflecting.
Yeah, then they start to reflect.
Yeah, that's
and in a laser cavity,
become mirrors.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So in a laser cavity, basically you need feedback. You have photons bouncing back and forth in the cavity, and then you have some leakage at the end of it. That's how you're able to actually see a laser beam. This is designed in a laser package. And so what we designed was a simple, what we thought was a
and photon is just a packet of light.
Yes, a photon is a packet of light. Yes.
Let's just break it down a little bit. Okay. So, and lasers are in essence light.
Exactly.
So
lasers are light emitting devices, a very tight wavelength, very coherent, very straight. You can shine a laser for miles, kilometers. So basically, what we developed were devices that allowed for modular operation of various laser systems. So the lasers that they use.
What's the application?
So one of the applications is actually LASIK surgery. So for LASIK, you might have seen the term femtosecond lasers. So to get a femtosecond laser requires a very tight laser beam. And when you think about Fourier transform, for those of you who you need the wavelength regime to be very, very tight. And so the way that you achieve that is by utilizing the saturation elements. Basically, they are laser cavity components that allow for the emission of tightly located in the wavelength space beams of light. And you need this because when you're performing things like LASIK surgery, you want to be able to localize your energy because you're basically updating portions of your body. Right. And so you want to localize the energy dump to a very fine, well-controlled area.
Right.
So that's one application. Other applications are in machining. So when you talk about laser drills and laser cutters that dump, gigajoules of energy, you need to be able to do that. And
so you're pulsing with light.
Yeah, exactly. You're pulsing with light, and you're able to deliver higher average energy.
Interesting. So did you actually make the absorbers? Were you in the lab?
Yes, I was in the clean room.
And did you actually test them?
Yes. So we took it end to end, from the design on in software designing the optical stack. To making them in the clean room, many.
And why did you have, for our viewers that don't know what a clean room is, what is that and why did you need to use a clean room?
Okay, so a clean room is a very, it's a low particle environment.
I work in a clean room.
It's a low particle environment where a lot of this micro nanofabrication of circuitry takes place.
So chips in your phone, chips in your computer, they have to be made in an environment that's very clean. That sounds basic, but it's true. So every room has a lot of particles. This room, there are a lot of particles that we can't see. And so in essence, we create these areas where they flush out particles with, flow of air, basically, laminar flow of air, to make the room very clean so you can actually work on these electronic devices, or in this case, devices for your laser applications, because you do not want any particles in these kind of devices.
Yeah, because those particles could short your circuits, you don't want that kind of mess when you're so I spent many years in a clean room fabricating things, and then when I was done with each round, would integrate the suture absorber into a laser cavity. So it was an interaction between my team and another team that build the laser cavities. So
you have to work with.
So I got to work. Yeah,
that's great. I didn't have that opportunity.
Yeah, it was a collaboration across groups, but it also required me to understand what their lasers were trying to do, the limitations, what we were trying to push, what wavelengths we're trying to target, but end to end, it requires a good understanding of semiconductor materials, physics, EE.
Optics, a well-rounded PhD.
Exactly.
It's not just focusing on physics of lasers, which you get very specific.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. What was the most challenging point in your PhD, or most challenging thing you had to do?
The most challenging point in my PhD was maybe the 4th year, when I felt like I was going to be a grad student for another 3 years. Because
everyone feels like this.
Progress was slow, motivation was low. So that was a tough period. And also we had funding issues. I wasn't sure if the project was going to continue another 2-3 years. So that was the most challenging, because I had invested, at that point I had invested 4 years in this. And so I couldn't just stop there.
Right.
So what were my options? Right. So looking into the future, not really having many options, that was the most scary time.
And how do you feel like you overcame that hurdle?
I knew there was nothing that I could change with the company. And so I just decided try to finish with it.
Wrap it up.
Just wrap it up. Rein this in.
Yeah.
And also I was very open with my advisor. I said, hey, what's going on? And she was very candid with me, and we wrote proposals for different grants. So I was also involved in that. So that was a blessing. Okay. It's silver lining that I got involved in the grants, in the writing of proposals for grants.
What do you feel at the end of the day coming through? What was your most rewarding accomplishment?
Well, the PhD.
Yep. I got the degree.
That was good, because you go through 5 years and you're in the trenches.
Right. You're like, I might go to graduate.
Yeah. But then graduation day
especially
comes.
If funding is an issue.
Am I going to make it? But then you finally get to a point where you have a good set of data, you have a good story, you can build a narrative around.
And you practice that defense talk, and you're like,
that defense talk.
Doctor is on the way.
And then somebody shakes your hand, your thesis board shakes your hand, and they say, congratulations. And at that moment, I had hair. My hair raised.
Did you cry? I cried.
I cried.
I cried, and I made my advisor cry. She cried too.
It was great. And then graduation comes, and they might say they had bagpipes, and everyone dressed up and getting your regalia, your graduation cap and gown. I just felt really proud of myself, if I could say that, because I knew this was something that couldn't be taken away from me. And
you're right.
And this is my very own thing. Yeah.
Did you meet any, I guess, how to phrase this, difficult people that you felt were just sent there by something to make this even a million times worse.
In school, not so much, but in my career, yes. Yeah. In grad
It's the opposite for me. It was in school. My career, not so much. People at work are okay. I mean, of course, there are difficult people, but you just be assertive and they get out of the way. But in grad school, I struggled with that. So, how do you feel like you approach it? In your day to day.
In my day to day, I just say, my work will speak for itself, and.
But sometimes you have to speak for yourself, not just the work. That happened to me. Sometimes I said the work and nothing happens. People just take your work and take advantage of it.
Yeah, that happens. You're absolutely right, Vanessa. And this is the area that I need to work on the most. The need to self-promote. And it's in any industry, in tech, whatever industry you're in, there's a need to self-promote, because to expect that people know the quality of your work just because there are no fires.
Yes.
Because things are moving smoothly.
Or if you don't speak, someone will take your work, take credit for your work. Which that has happened to me too. So you have to learn to speak up.
Yeah, you learn to speak up. Promote
in the right way.
In the right way, right forum. Don't be obnoxious, but for sure,
So many obnoxious people. Oh gosh. But it's just being obnoxious doesn't even seem to be a hindrance as much as not speaking up for some reason.
I know.
People who are obnoxious still get a pass.
Oh, it's so unfortunate.
So I guess this ties into my next question. What have you realized about yourself, all through your academic career and your career in tech, that you need to improve on, and what's your approach to improve on in the next phase of your career?
Well, definitely being more vocal about my work. But also other areas that I need to work on are, I think we all have high expectations of ourselves, and so we extend that high expectation to others. We expect everyone to be operating at that level, past that bar, but you can't. The expectation is a lot of times has to be sort of informed by reality, what people's particular strengths are. And so, becoming more aware of what someone brings to the table, as opposed to thinking this person should know everything because I know it.
That's a good one.
I should because I...
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, like, I'm hardest on myself than anyone else, so I always sort of expect other people to be that way, and I get a little bit frustrated, but you're right, that's a good...
Because it's setting yourself up for disappointment and really just tough conversations, and just being perpetually, annoyed,
frustrated
by someone's email because they just don't get it. And then also it's sometimes a reflection on you. It may be, not so much negatively, but then sometimes it gives you the opportunity to think, have I been explicit about what I need from this person? Have I just assumed that they are as invested in this particular body of work? What are their responsibilities outside of this engagement,
And what you're talking about now is not something I feel like you can learn when you get a job. This is something you can learn in school too. Because we've all been on team projects in high school, we've all been in clubs in high school, where your treasurer is not doing this, or your vice president is not doing what they're supposed to do, or you feel like you're doing more for your team project than other people, and you need to work on a skill, that will help you communicate with your team in a project, or communicate with your team in a club. And those are the same skills you will use 15 years later when you work at Apple, because you have a team again, and you have one person who's slacking off, one person who's taking credit, one person who's struggling with the work, and all developing the skills on how to communicate and make your team work efficiently. Are very crucial, and they're crucial to your success, no matter where you are in your career.
And communication, elimination of redundancy just because you haven't had a simple conversation, when you're resource limited, it's so important to be clear on roles, responsibilities, and then together, you can move forward
and succeed. So before we close, what advice would you give given to your young self? Einstein's
That's a tough one. That's a tough one when I think about my personal and career, professional life. I think I would just say to myself, you'll figure it out tomorrow. If we can't figure it out, because I stressed out a lot about not understanding things and feeling like I was running out of time. If I don't figure it out today, then tomorrow's gonna have its own issues. I'm gonna be behind.
Yeah.
But I wish I would just say to myself,
calm down.
Yeah, take a breath. Take a breath.
Enjoy the time.
Yeah, take a breath. Come back to it tomorrow. And a lot of times, that's what happens today. Like, I'll go home and I have a problem and I can't figure it out at work. And the next day, it usually happens on a Friday. And then by Monday I come back in and within 15 minutes I've figured it out. So just trust yourself. Just trust that you got it. You'll figure it out.
That took me a long time to figure out too, because I remember points in my PhD where I would stay there overnight just trying to figure it out instead of just going home and just sleeping or eating and coming back and the day is bright and you understand what's going on, so again, can't kill yourself.
Can't kill yourself.
Focus. Let go of some things. Go ahead.
One more thing that I remembered, when I was an undergrad, I worked so hard, just many hours in the library, in the lab, but I wish I'd done more fun things. Like, I really wish I spent the time to enjoy things outside of school, because I always felt like all my time had to be dedicated to
your
work.
GPA.
Yeah, to my GPA, And I think I would have done okay if I'd spent more time doing fun stuff. So incorporate the things that bring you joy and center you, ground you. Don't neglect your mental health, your emotional well-being, because that's the most important.
Right. Thank you. That's great. So since we're also a style blog, how would you describe your style and how has it evolved from school to now? You're a working woman.
Well, my style is, I think it's...
First of all, show us what you're wearing. Just get up and do a little twirl. I love it.
I will do that.
Fantastic.
I'm wearing a metallic skirt, which I love.
It's great. Glorious. It's great on you.
My style is quite eclectic. I love color. I love floral dresses.
Do you feel like having a sense of style and tech is a hindrance, or it actually helps?
It's not a hindrance. It's just a lot of times you sort of feel like, well, I'm gonna be in the lab all day. Why try? Right? But then it's hard. Do the things that, like I said, do the things that bring you joy. If you love how you feel when you wear that red dress and heels in the clean room, go for it.
That's awesome.
Even though you're gonna be in a bodysuit.
Right. You're gonna have to cover it all.
Yeah, that's you.
Just own your style.
Yeah, own your style. Express yourself through your style.
And I felt sometimes pressure to dress in I wear sneakers often, but just dress, blasé because everyone else is. Because if you dress up nicely, people are like, "Oh, you look nice today. Are you going somewhere after work?" And I'm like, "No, I have nowhere to go.
I know.
Go away."
And you get all those questions, and also as Black women, maybe it's a stereotype, but we like to change our hair.
Yes.
And so every
your hair looks different today.
Yeah, your hair looks different today. What did you kind of touch your hair?
Did your hair grow longer?
Yeah,
no, it didn't.
Calm down. Just read a book on hair or something. Go on.
Or just ignore it.
Yeah, just ignore it. But I love color. I love wearing dresses. But I also like to just wear jeans and shirts. I love
sweatshirts.
Yeah, sweatshirts.
I feel like my style is very street as well. All through grad school, I lived for 2 years in this vintage camo jacket. Everybody knew me on campus because I was the only Black girl wearing a camo jacket. So I feel like I've always, stood out with my style, and sometimes I've toned it back because I feel like people are looking, it's drawing too much attention. But I'm like, I'm just gonna be myself.
Just shine. Just shine.
Just shine.
Yeah.
Just shine. Let's end on that note.
That's right.
Oh, young people, just shine. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Again, this is Sheila, and we'll put details about outfits in the post below. And don't forget to check out my blog, Fanny et al. I have great articles on science, fashion, art, all my interests, and I hope you guys keep checking this series out. And I'm going to interview so many more of my friends. I know a lot of engineers, guys, and I know a lot of doctors and scientists, and we're going to bring you such great content. Thank you for watching.
All right, bye.
Bye.